What's up, everyone? The stock market didn't move too much today, but it is heating up and it is heating up quickly. We have some very important events coming up very soon in the stock market, and we're about to see some crazy news. In today's video, we're going to go over some of the best setups in the stock market. Right now, we're going to go over a giant trade you won't want to miss and some other important news that really caught me by surprise. So make sure to stick with us all the way to the end of the video. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, Mike, and I know that we've been talking about a lot of these stocks moving up a ton lately. And yesterday, we talked a lot about stocks potentially consolidating for a couple days ahead of the FOMC event. And we ended up seeing Tesla and a lot of other stocks reject off of key resistance. Like Tesla pretty much bounced right off of 180 twice this morning. And now look at this bad move in after hours, all the way down to 166. Looks like we might actually try to push 160 at some point tomorrow. And then we go over to the SPY, and the SPY is right on key support at $400. This is going to be a huge level for the next couple days. And, you know, give or take a couple dollars, it might fall down ever so slightly. But I will say it's going to be very important that we hold this, and then with the FOMC event, that we start to move back up. I will say, Mike, that event's going to be coming up on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a huge decision. It looks like it's going to be 25 basis points for sure on the CME group. It's a 98.4% chance. So looks like 25 basis points. And I would guess the market is just going to probably digest this as it's already been expecting this. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens. And I'm hoping that the SPY can start to continue up here, but it's going to be very crucial that we, hold this area over the next couple days.
So let's zoom out just a little bit, Tom. On this SPY chart, we can see that over the past couple weeks, it's been pretty good. We've seen a lot of upwards movement, not only across SPY, but many other stocks. But we're not in the clear just yet because, like Tom just said, Wednesday we're going to have another interest rate hike. Right now it's expected to be 0.25%. So these types of events always bring in extra volatility, and it makes the stock market move in just a crazy way. But what makes this week so unique is not just the interest rate decision, and it's not just SPY or the stock market at a very crucial level, but we also have some very key earnings set to release throughout the week. And as the week goes on, these earnings are only going to get crazier and crazier. Tomorrow, we have big earnings from ExxonMobil, UPS, and AMD, just to name a few. But as the week goes on Wednesday and Thursday, we have some of these powerhouses set to report like Meta, Amazon, Apple, and Alphabet, aka Google. So to say the least, it is going to be a crazy week.
Yeah, it really is. Between Powell and between these earnings and the interest rate decision, man, I mean, just about anything can happen here. And I'm hoping that those big tech stocks Thursday obviously move us up. But that big event on Wednesday is going to be, man, it's going to be two back-to-back days of craziness. Like pretty much whatever happens Wednesday can be influenced in after hours Thursday. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of up and down movement. And Mike, I would expect a lot of these volatility indexes like the VIX to maybe start to move up a little bit, or maybe UVXY. I really feel like that, volatility might start to pick up over the next couple days. And obviously throughout this small earnings season, or I shouldn't say small earnings season, huge earnings season. But obviously, we have 4 seasons every year, and we always are reporting. But man, this it's just such a crucial level right now, and I'm really hoping that the interest rate decision can at least kick things off. And then obviously we can start to go. But for tomorrow, we actually have AMD reporting. And I will say, Mike, they are at a key support at 72. I was going to talk about this one in my plays for the day, but I guess I'll bring it up now. I will say the 72 support looks awesome. And if we end up falling below there tomorrow, I might actually look at puts tomorrow. But over the next few days, I'll be watching this area very closely. And there's even a huge resistance at 77, where you can see we actually kind of like triple top there over the past few days.
There we go. Yeah, I'll definitely keep this one on my radar. It does tend to have some pretty nice moves. So good stuff there. Like you said, they report tomorrow after close. So definitely keep that in mind. A stock I'm watching pretty closely right now is Netflix, but it's actually to the downside. Netflix over the past couple of weeks and months, it's just been it's been exploding constantly, and it has fallen quite a bit since last year. But like I said, over the past couple of weeks and months, this thing has been booming. Right now, it's at a point where it just ran into like a brick wall, you can say, at that $370 resistance level, and it's kind of struggling where it's at right now. So looking at Netflix stock, I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see it retest right around 340 or so. And if the market folds over with the events we have later this week, it can go even lower. So it is one of the stocks I'm watching closest this week, and it is to the downside.
Yeah, and whenever Netflix gets some of these downside moves, especially coming off of huge breakouts like this, you can see sometimes it has some pretty steep pullbacks. So yeah, I'll keep it on the radar too. I think that's a fantastic play. And man, if some of these tech stocks keep falling, I think that with them being so overextended, we could find some pretty good plays to the downside. I'm actually going to be watching Target actually for another play to the downside, Mike. So I noticed Target ran up today quite a bit. They ran up right around the 170 resistance. So I'm going to be watching them to break out up above 170 come tomorrow. If they break out up above there, I'll watch for some calls. But what I will say is, I noticed the price action towards close. We have a little bit of like lower highs going on. Not really my favorite, especially with stocks starting to fall down a little bit. So if we end up falling under 168, then I'll watch them to the downside. But I think there's a lot of opportunity here for some pullbacks.
Gotcha. Another stock I'm watching pretty closely is UVXY. Some of you guys trade this one every now and then, and it is a crazy stock to watch, or technically an ETF. The main thing you need to know is that whenever people start to panic in the market, or whenever we see some bearish movement in the market overall, this thing explodes. During COVID, this thing ran like more than like any other stock. It is a leveraged ETF, and it is like a bearish ETF overall. So like, as you can see with this giant COVID explosion, like when there's true panic in the market, this stock knows how to run. I don't think we're going to get to a point anytime in the short term, hopefully, where we have the same level of panic as we did during COVID, of course. But the main thing to know is that whenever there's any sort of like selling pressure that's starting to heat up in the markets, this stock can move up big time. Given that we have some huge earnings this week and an interest rate decision, I don't think UVXY is a bad stock to watch. If we do see a sell-off, this thing can definitely pop.
Yeah, it really can. I mean, it's down quite a bit right now. And man, with the way the market has been flying up, you can see UVXY has been really selling down. So I feel like that there's definitely some room back up here, especially with that VIX. I feel like that the VIX will start to pop up this week a little bit. And Mike, I actually want to talk about the VIX here just for like 1 second, because I really love this setup, and I've been watching this VIX setup for a long, long time. And you guys can see that whenever the VIX starts to break out of these wedges here, it starts to seriously explode. Now, we're not at the point of breaking out of the wedge, but we are tracing this lower trend line up. And this trend line, surprisingly, because VIX follows volatility, you wouldn't necessarily think it's something that follows trend lines like this, but I find this very interesting. And once again, we're bouncing off this lower trend line. So I feel like that's just another reason to watch UVXY.
Awesome. So Tom, for a lot of people who've been watching our channel for some time, most people know that we're pretty big fans of DraftKings, especially DraftKings stock. And there's some very, very interesting news today where DraftKings is actually partnering up with Molson Coors, and basically they are, I guess you could say, announcing a $500,000 prize pool for whoever can complete their contest, you can say. So Tom, take it away.
Yeah, this is awesome, guys. I'll tell you, for all of my sports bettors out there and everybody who likes to do stuff like that, you guys are going to get a kick out of this. And it might even actually help DraftKings stock for anyone who doesn't care about sports or anything. Well, it's still stock related, but you can bet on this commercial. It's going to be awesome, Mike. So they're going to have this high stakes commercial. It's going to be a $500,000 prize pool. I went ahead and looked at the rules. The max you can make is $100,000 if you come in first, but still, that's awesome. And you can pretty much choose a whole bunch of random stuff, like the opening slogan, which beer is mentioned first, You can do which object will shatter, what type of dog is pictured in the ad, like what color is the floor. There's all types of weird stuff you can pick here, but it should really help the stock, Mike. At least it should help DraftKings, the company, get some exposure. And imagine this, with all these new states starting to legalize and talking about that, them capitalizing on a Super Bowl ad could be ginormous, especially, since we know it's going to be the Chiefs and the Eagles. Sounds like a pretty good game. I know Mahomes puts up a good fight, and man, it should be awesome. And what I did notice is DraftKings is also kind of forming a good support at $11 and starting to break out of a decent trend line too.
Yeah, I've never seen a top secret, high stakes Super Bowl ad contest like this before, and I just love to see like how I guess you could say I don't even know what to call this. It's just like something you haven't seen before, right? And I think it's going to drum up a ton of hype, especially for a giant event like the Super Bowl. And what's really cool is that it doesn't cost anything to enter this contest. So, as a DraftKings shareholder, I look at it like, all right, let's say a couple million people sign up for this contest. It doesn't cost anyone anything to enter, and there'll be $500,000 in prizes total that's given away. But DraftKings might gain a couple million users just based off of the hype from this event. So I think it's really exciting, and I'm just excited for it. It's a really cool thing to see, especially as a DraftKings shareholder.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be awesome. And, I love DraftKings stock, Mike, and I still feel like it's at a decent point right now to continue to average in. Obviously I'd rather average in at 11, of course, but, I still think that anywhere between honestly, like $11 to $20 is pretty good down here at the bottom. I wouldn't go too crazy though, just in case, but I do like the company, and I love that they're continuing to put themselves out there. They're always such a big player in the ad market. They always try to gain the most market share. I know FanDuel is ahead of them right now in a lot of states, and who knows, it might change with some of these better things going on.
Yeah, so we will see, and make sure to keep a close eye on DraftKings stock over the next couple of weeks. But Tom, we have to talk more about SPY today. Still at a crucial point. I could see that we're above that $400 support level, which is just gigantic. What are the most important levels you're watching throughout the rest of the week, and what should we know when it comes to SPY?
Yeah, so today I will say I had a support level on SPY right around 402, and that ended up being a huge intraday level from today. There was actually a nice bounce there back on Monday, January 23rd as well. So that was where I kind of got that level from. And then we had like a double or triple bottom there today before finally selling off down to around 400. So 400 is obviously the main level to watch tomorrow for support. Now, if we do fall under 400, I will say there is a lot of candlesticks and a lot of prints that I've seen at 399. So I don't want to, say that like 400 won't hold up, but like if it doesn't hold up, just be careful of a fake out at 399 just in case. You might want to give or take $1 on this one, given how big the support is. But if we do end up falling down a little further, I like 398, and even better though, Mike, down to 396. I've noticed a lot of price action down to around that 396 area, but man, I'm really hoping that we can hold and start to move back up to above 402, and then maybe even retrace 404, which was a very big level from a couple days ago too.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, with that being said, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have wheat, WEAT to the upside.
Yeah, WEAT. I actually like this one quite a bit, Mike. I know that this thing can have some pretty good moves every once in a while. If it ends up moving up above $7.68, go ahead and watch it to the upside. Just guys, it does look a little crazy intraday because it has a little bit lower volume than some stocks, but it's still pretty good.
All right, with the next one, we have NVIDIA to the downside.
NVDA, Mike. I can't believe this one fell off as bad as it did. Actually, I can, just given how much it's been flying up lately. Actually, I think AMD was one of our free day trades today in the Discord, but they're actually sitting right around 192. So I would say if they can fall under like 190, 150, watch them to the downside.
All right, with the next one, we have Disney, but we need both directions on this one.
Yeah, DIS kind of looks just like Nvidia. I would say if they fall down under 106, 106.90, watch them to the downside. It looks like there was a big print right there a couple days ago. If they end up moving up above 109, watch them for a nice push up to around 110.
All right, so we are watching Disney for a play to the upside tomorrow, only if it breaks above the level Tom listed. We're also watching it for a play to the downside tomorrow, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. We're also watching Nvidia for a downwards play, only if it breaks below that downwards level. And we are watching WEAT for an upwards play, only if it breaks above the upwards level. But it is now time for probably my favorite part of the video, and that is the big money trade of the day. For today's play, we had $750,000 go into SIG. And while there have been a ton of big money call option plays over the past couple weeks, this one is the exact opposite. So today we had $750,000 go into the SIG 80 strike put options that expire on March 17th of 2023. The lower this stock goes, the more millions the big money will make. While this isn't necessarily like my favorite technical setup in the world, the stock has been doing okay over the past couple months. And it's been uptrending in a decent way over the past couple weeks, but over the past couple days, the uptrend has definitely been slowing down. And, the big money isn't getting into this trade just by random chance. I'd like to think they did quite a bit of research, given that they're putting, $750,000 into it.
Yeah, exactly. And what I will say, Mike, is, it seems like that there's been a lot of areas of support / resistance, like right around this $76 to $77 area as well. Like I can go back and circle areas from like December of 21, January of 22. There's just a whole bunch of areas on the chart here where we've seen like a lot of price action around this area. And if we do start to, fall back down for a month or so, this could end up being a very, very explosive play. So keep it on the radar, guys. It's very interesting. And Mike, like with the way that this stock's kind of running up, it kind of makes me wonder if they shorted it. But with it being in the money a little bit, I would think it does seem pretty good.
Yep. So we will see. Either way, whenever you have big money making any sort of options trade, it's definitely worth following. Like I said, this isn't necessarily like my favorite setup in the world, but it is interesting though.
Yeah, 100%. I'm kind of really going to be watching this rejection here. Like I said, that's a huge area of resistance. And man, I know that, whenever you see a lot of areas of resistance and stuff, there's usually a lot of big sell orders up there. So, I'm going to be watching, if the stock starts to pop up, I'm going to keep my eye on that level too and see like what's up there around that, $78 to $80-ish range.
Sounds great. So Tom, heading into tomorrow, do you have any final thoughts or anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention gold really quickly, Mike. We had this big money play a while ago in the gold 170 puts back on December 22nd. This was actually a long time ago, Mike. It almost seems like that play might have taken an L. At least it's down a lot right now if they had long those puts anyways. But it looks like gold now is starting to actually come down. And, I noticed that it's kind of very overextended, kind of like a lot of these tech stocks are in the short term. So I just wanted to point that out. And I also wanted to point out the fact that the dollar is very overextended to the downside. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe we're going to get a pop up this week with the FOMC stuff. And then maybe gold's going to tumble down a little bit. It seems very overextended in the short term. So I just wanted to, say that maybe some GLD puts might be on the radar for the next few days.
Over the past couple weeks, there's been a lot of great GLD call option opportunities as it's just been popping so much. So yeah, either way, keep a close eye on GLD. Gold prices have been moving in some pretty big ways over the past couple weeks. So either way, it should be a very exciting week as we have these key earnings set to release, and of course the interest rate hike on Wednesday. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll see our videos recommended to you more often, and we're always posting brand new content, so definitely make sure to subscribe. Also, I want to give a giant shout out to today's Member of the day, RXify. Thanks for being a great member of the Stocked Up Discord, and make sure to keep up that awesome activity in the chat. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's have an amazing week.